Hey guys, it's the DJ. We're out in the wild today. Thought we're roaming around. I thought I'd do a quick video here. Talk about finance. Yes, finance. Title of today's video is People Just Don't Get How to Accumulate Wealth. And there's a trick to it. There's the right way and there's ways that are going to take longer. They're going to take longer. I was having a conversation with an acquaintance yesterday, and she was telling me how her son was living the American dream. He had graduated college, probably right around the end of the pandemic. Got himself a good job, was making good money. Lived with her for a couple of years, saved up some money, was able to buy a house. And she went on to say how her son she's been telling her son to make sure he pays off his house. Which I kind of shook my head and said, no, no, you don't want to. I mean, that's David. Here's where my idea of accumulating wealth and David Ramsey's differ. If anyone follows David Ramsey's 7 steps to becoming debt free or whatever it is, he's got some good ideas. Those are good steps. Those are good steps. But here's where I differ. I differ that if you're living in a house and you can afford that house, okay, so it's 33% or less of your income is going to your house. That's what you can afford. And you're making your payments and you're paying your taxes. That's good debt. That's good debt. That's okay. Don't worry about paying that off, especially if it's like at 2, 3, or 4%. There's no need to pay that off. That is cheap, easy money, right? Just keep making the payments and taking the extra money that maybe you would put towards your mortgage to pay it down and invest it in the stock market. Buy precious metals. Do something else with it that's smart instead of dumping it into a asset that you bought and you're trying to pay it off quicker. That's ludicrous. Ludicrous. It's stupidity too, because where we're at in the cycle of things, the housing cycle, we're at the top of the market right now, and I'm expecting housing prices in the Chicago vicinity to come crashing down in the next couple of years. So why would you want to dump more money towards your mortgage, which, say you bought a house for $500,000 a couple of years ago, and then all of a sudden you're paying off the mortgage, trying to pay it off ahead of schedule. You're dumping more and more money into it, and then the prices collapse, and that $500,000 mortgage our house is now worth 400 or 350 or something like that. You just saw your home equity evaporate. All that extra money you put in there to try to gain equity in that new home you bought a couple of years ago is now gone. It's now gone. There's my reasoning there. Okay. So getting back to where we're at here, the smart thing to do, buy a house that you can afford, make those payments, and work real hard to take that extra money you have, that extra cash flow you got, and buy other assets, okay? Stocks, bonds, precious metals, another investment property, you name it. You name it. Anything other than trying to pay off your first mortgage. We also talked a little bit about, she was saying how you want to take home equity out of your house and invest it in the stock market. Don't do that. Do not do that. There was a time where that was easy money. You could do that for 4%. probably like 10 years ago, you could do that for 4%. People would use their home equity lines to do upgrades on their kitchen, their bathrooms, um, down payment on a car, you name it, patio for the backyard, you name it. People were doing that when home equity was only 4 or 5%. Well, guess what, guys? You need to check your local bank out. Home equity loans, last I checked, and it was probably couple years ago, we're hovering around 12 to 13%. So unless you like paying high interest rates, I would stay away from doing that too. So days of second mortgages and home equity mortgages have dwindled, and they are pretty much a sign of a person who is in financial distress. If you know anybody taking out a home equity loan right now, they are in financial distress, and it's probably the source of money of last resort for them, and they have no other choice. So there you go. I mean, those are ways of accumulating wealth, but they're not the proper way to accumulate wealth. So let's talk about Google today. Google had a great super earnings report. It started out like $6 over today, and is now like maybe $3 over. Little disappointed. I'm holding on to mine. I think maybe tomorrow or maybe Monday, it's gonna maybe pop a little bit more. But a little disappointed in the $3 tick up. It deserves more than that. I also bought a couple of shares of Tesla today. Let me just say we're not giving financial advice here. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I bought a small tranche, real small tranche of Tesla stock. It was down $30 at one point today, so we'll be looking for that to come back. They had some awful earnings, super awful earnings, but we're gonna gamble a little bit on Tesla and see what we can do. Hopefully it'll turn around pretty quick, and we'll make maybe $1,000, $2,000 off it and move on. So there you are. I'm still holding my Google. We'll see what happens tomorrow in the market. And like I said, I mean, Google's a very good blue chip stock. So I'm not under any pressure to sell. Because it's just quality. I'm just saying, it's just quality. So that's a good thing about dealing in quality stocks versus like a Tesla, where if I had a ton of money in Tesla right now, I'd be I think it's too late to drop it. But see, there's a difference of knowing what you're buying. Make sure you got a quality stock. You're just not throwing money into the wind, because it can come back and bite your butt for sure. So there you go. There's the stock report for today from the DJ. Hope you're having a great week. Tomorrow's Friday, so get ready. Get ready for the weekend, my friends. That's what everyone works for. Over and out. It's the DJ.